During my hiatus of making videos, a lot of what's been occupying my time is school, sports, friends, and watching movies, usually off TCM. But I've made a recent discovery in the last year or two of this thing called Warner Night at the Movies. Now, most of you are probably wondering, Warner Night at the Movies? What's that? Well, it's Warner Brothers' attempt to recapture the feel of what it would have been like to go to see movies back then. You see, back then, going to see a movie was more of an experience, a family night out. When you went to see a movie, you didn't just get a movie. You got a newsreel, a short film like The Three Stooges, a cartoon like Looney Tunes or Popeye, and a movie serial. They do all they can to recreate the experience, and if I have to say so myself, I think they do a pretty good job. They often put in things that were from that year, so they're not mashing together a bunch of things that probably wouldn't have been seen then. So if you're watching a movie from 1931, you're only going to see cartoons, newsreel clips, and a short film from 1931. Sometimes Leonard Maltin is there to introduce the night to you, which is always a nice touch. But as much as I love these things, there are a few problems. All minor, but nonetheless, I must address them. One, there are no movie serials, which I understand why they did it, but that doesn't matter. Just dust off an old movie serial off the shelf and put it in for your own enjoyment. Besides that, everything else is here. Number two, there's a certain criteria a movie has to fill in order to have a Warner Night at the Movies. Not every movie released by Warner Brothers has a Warner Night at the Movies. It has to be a Warner Brother made film, so any Allied Artist, RKO, or MGM movie doesn't have one. And just because it's a Warner Brothers made film doesn't mean it has a Warner Night at the Movies. So stuff like Now Voyager and The Letter don't have it. This third complaint is not a complaint about content, but rather convenience. And what I mean is, there's no list. What I mean is, I can't find a list or video or anything online that shows which movies do and don't have Warner Night at the Movies, because I desperately want to collect them all. I think these things are great, but alas, I can only find a few. If you guys want to start your own Warner Night at the Movie collection, here are the ones I have. The Little Giant, Larceny Inc., Kid Galahad, Invisible Stripes, The Amazing Dr. Clitterhouse, Mayor of Hell, Smart Money, Picture Snatcher, Lady Killer, Brother Orchid, The Black Legion, Slight Case of Murder, San Quentin, G-Men, Each Dawn I Die, City for Conquest, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Dawn Patrol, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, The Maltese Falcon, The Old Maid, All This in Heaven 2, The Great Lie, In This Our Life, Watch the Rhine, Deception, Little Caesar, The Roaring Twenties, The Public Enemy, Angels with Dirty Faces, The Petrified Forest, All Through the Night, and White Heat. If you know of any that I miss, feel free to tell me. I'm all ears. I'm all about getting more of these things. But until then, guess I'll just be watching these, and I suggest you do the same thing.